To you by Gulfstream Park.
Hold the Mayo. It's time for Mike Mayo's Lunchbox. Find out what's being served with Mike, Defo and Lubie, the only show that covers food, sports, and the proper maintenance of your car. And now, a man who had the distinction of having an entire health clinic named in his honor, Mike Mayo.
I want the frim fram sauce with the awesome bay with shafafa on the side.
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome. It's Friday, and that means we're at Gulfstream Park, 10 Palms. Jeff Defo DeForest, tell me that this doesn't make you one happy camper and better.
Well, I mean, there's certain things in life that you really enjoy. And as you get older, you start to appreciate, it's all about how you feel about certain things. And as much as I despise driving on I-95 right now when dealing with traffic, I love to ride to a racetrack, especially if you're desperately trying to make a post time, which in this case is the post time for the show, 12 o'clock. We're here before the anthem. But couldn't be any better. I mean, just a beautiful cruise down here. The music that was coming over Pandora was great. And then, in spite of the fact that you're acting a little quirky here at the top of the show, Mike Mayo, with your iced tea.
No.
And your decision-making on terms of what you're going to eat here at 10 Palms. I understand it, and I can respect it because you're being responsible. Because you are dealing with, the safety of your daughter.
I'm parenting. I'm modeling good behavior. I am a teetotaler for lunch today, and usually I do like to imbibe to kick off
have
the
a Bloody
weekend.
Mary with like the Garden of Eden coming out of the top there. All kinds of stuff.
Well, let's tell the folks why. Because I am right after the show today. I'm going on a little getaway, very quick one with my daughter. And even though she's able to drive, I'm going to do the bulk of the driving on the way up to Tampa. We're going to visit some friends. A friend of her just started college at USF. And then we're going to be spending the day with that other family and her friend at Busch Gardens tomorrow, riding roller coasters all day.
And that's the other strange thing. I mean, Lubie, how shocked were you to find out that Mayo is like a roller coaster freak?
Yeah, Maven.
I mean, the last thing on earth you'd figure this guy would be some kind of daredevil. And here he is. He loves it.
Sometimes I go against type. I mean, I'm not a thrill seeker. I will never go skydiving. I will never go bungee jumping. Even just a day on the
cliff
water.
Diving? How about cliff diving?
I don't like wave runners. I don't even like
wave
runners. I don't even like going out on a boat because I get seasickness. I'm a land-loving Jew from Brooklyn.
Yeah.
But
kind of a nebbish.
Usually my biggest thrill is drawing to an inside straight at the poker.
Exactly.
That's
However,
okay because you're a degenerate, which is good. I mean, that's one of the reasons that we at least have some common threads.
However, I was born in Brooklyn and I grew up being fearful of the cyclone because my mother.
Even know if, didn't you have to be a certain age to go into cyclone?
Certain height. That was my problem
sure.
at the beginning because I was a little short, chubby
I
one.
lived there till I was 11, but I never went on a cyclone, I would say. The parachute jump was the other one that was prohibited.
Yeah, well, I have a story about the parachute jump. Allegedly, my mom's mom went on the parachute jump when she was a young immigrant in Brooklyn, and she ended up screaming. It was one of those screams that came out that didn't come out, and then she got lockjaw because she was like
almost like you did when you were trying to eat that burger at Gilbert.
No, I was trying to eat that Rice Krispie
the Rice
treat.
Krispie dessert.
Yeah. But I'll never forget. My mother told the story about her mom, my grandma Rose, went on it without knowing fully what that parachute jump was, which is basically it takes you up.
It was like a straight drop,
and
then it does a straight drop, but then the parachute opens and then you glide down to earth. But apparently during that initial drop down, she just freaked out because she didn't know that was coming, and thus began the the neuroses that was hatched in the Wasserman side of the family.
Obviously, she infused you with a lot of it. You know what? That was a mark of manhood, though. Going on the cyclone or the parachute jump. Those were two things almost like having a bar mitzvah, that you had graduated into manhood.
Yes.
If you went on those rides when you were living
parachute
in Brooklyn.
jump was closed by the time I came of age.
For good reason.
Yes. It was, that was crazy. But I don't know. Were there any casualties on that?
I believe
ride?
I want to say yes to that. I don't know. I can't swear to it because, the memory's a little foggy. But I want to say that something bizarre
happened that
on more than one occasion
forced
with
the closure.
But the cyclone was made out of like balsa wood or something. And it's still going.
The thing about the cyclone, and this is the famous roller coaster in Coney Island, right down the block from Nathan's famous hot dogs.
And how good was the smell of the food there? I mean,
it was
even
great,
if you were on the cyclone.
Pro tip. don't eat the hot dogs until after you go on the
Yeah,
cyclone, because
yeah.
otherwise
Oh, no
it
doubt.
could make a big
Yeah.
mess. But I do recall riding with my brothers one time. The first time I went on the cyclone, my brother Steven, who works here at Gulfstream, and my late brother David, whose anniversary of his passing.
Wait a minute. How
marked
come
this
I
week.
know your brother Stephen by another name?
Burl, that's his
Oh,
nickname.
Burl.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
But anyway, went on the cyclone with them the first
I
time.
thought
and-
it was weird that
and-
your parents named him
They
Burl and you
did.
Michael.
No,
They
that was
did.
his nickname because when he was in 5th grade, he looked like a big
He was a big
lumbering,
burly guy. Yeah.
big burly guy,
All
and
right.
that nickname stuck. Anyway, the cyclone only 90 feet high, but that first drop where you go up and it basically all you see is the Atlantic, and you
Yeah.
feel as if you're just
You know.
dropping down into the ocean. And it, because of the construction of an old wooden rickety,
Very
it has
rickety.
some very weird kind of forces that it gives you a thrill. And it's old, and it's
No.
not that, I guess by today's standard, not that tall, not that fast, but it's
Yeah,
still
but it's on wood.
It packs
The
a
wooden
mean
roller
punch.
coaster thing freaks me out. How
Packs a
safe
mean
can
punch.
it be?
Especially, I mean, it was built in like 1814.
Exactly.
That's-
Before
that's-
like the war, and
that's part of the
yeah,
thrill.
it's kind of
So,
crazy. Yeah.
I was a limited roller coaster rider as a youth. But then when I got married, my
Oh,
then
your wife was a real
Michelle,
daredevil. She married you.
yes, there was ups and downs. Let me tell you. She grew up in Ohio, and their tradition was going up to Cedar Point in Ohio. It's
Yeah,
the
that
northern
one's
part.
nuts.
It's on Lake Erie, I guess, right, or one of those
good.
lakes.
Lake Winnemucca.
No, it's one of the Great Lakes, but this Cedar Point is a tremendous amusement park with some roller coasters that go up like
Wait,
450
wait a minute. You had to
feet.
go to her hometown? Where did you meet
Well,
this woman?
obviously, I mean,
Met her here through.
Okay.
She was working in the racing office right here at Gulfstream at the
Oh,
time,
my. Okay.
and it was a night where we met playing whirly ball. Do you remember whirly ball?
Whirly ball, yeah, stupid game.
It was a stupid game, and it
Absolutely
involved
asinine
bumper
activity,
cars.
yeah.
It was like a combination
Bumper
of
cars meets dodgeball meets
high
hockey.
lie
Yeah,
meets
hockey,
basketball,
yeah,
because
yeah,
you
it
had
was-
these little wicker baskets, a wiffle ball that you tried to hit into a target that was like a bullseye in the middle of a backboard.
Companies used to think it was a good idea to bring everybody out there to, go ahead and beat the crap out of each other playing this game.
It was a night where a whole bunch of people from Gulfstream, this was back in the day when Tom Durkin was the race caller here. It was Tom Durkin, Dave Joseph, a whole other crew, and Michelle, who worked at the racing
Did
office.
Joseph wear like an old army outfit or anything while he was
I don't
doing this? I
know.
could see him kind of getting a costume.
Caton and Doug Bradar might have been there that night.
All right.
But, Michelle was there
What'd you do? You
unattached.
deliberately crashed into her?
We
and-
kept bumping into each other, so to
Oh.
speak. And then afterwards, we went for a whole crew went out to the Falcon Pub. You remember Falcon
I
Pub
do,
on
yeah.
University?
Yes.
Had a bunch of drinks and some wings,
And
and
then
we
a little
started
bumping and
chatting.
grinding later on. This is
That
great.
came.
this is the mother of his
Anyway,
daughter.
we ended up
Be transparent on the show. man.
Ended up getting
don't try to
married,
cover it up.
having a kid,
Yeah.
and then the roller coaster went way down.
That's when
Yeah,
the descent
yeah,
started.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's it.
exactly. Everything
But-
changes after she says I
But
do. You
we
know
did
that.
have some good outings to Cedar Point. I did turn into a roller coaster freak,
And
although
is that
like
your
I,
introduction to Skyline?
like
too?
I said yesterday, I would curse all the way up. I would be just like one big ball of neuroses and sweat and curse words saying, "Why are you making me do this?"
Yeah,
And then,
don't do things you don't want to do. That's the
well,
name of the game in
it
this life.
turned out subconsciously, I guess I did want to do
But
it.
that's
All
the
right.
thing is like Shirley's done that for me with a lot of things because she is the daredevil. She's jumped that. She's gone skydiving 3 different times.
Oh, Jesus.
So she is the opposite.
I encourage Mustang to go
I'm
skydiving,
sure,
especially out of North Perry Airport. Yeah.
without the- so she is the daredevil. And so there are lines for me, but I do like that she will push me to do certain things that there's no way in hell I would do. Like when we, I always forget what it's called. When we went down the mountains in Costa Rica, and when you have
Oh,
the
yeah.
thing,
Like tobogganing around the
tobogganing.
What is that?
when you're jumping off of it,
volcano.
Zip
Oh,
lining.
zip lining.
it's like ziplining, but you actually go down the fucking mountain.
Wait,
Pardon
we
my
can't
French.
use the
Pardon
F
my
word.
French. I know we're on the lunch.
We're on the lunchbox.
You can't go
The
on the
lunchbox.
freaking.
We work
You can't.
PG-13.
Uh-huh.
That was for the construction working contingent
Lubie,
that
there you
watches
go.
the lunchbox.
Has he ever been diagnosed with Tourette's? Because I'm thinking
No.
maybe we can have a medical excuse card for him.
He's got a little pesky in him, especially you get him going
Well,
on certain
here.
topics.
Well,
yeah.
I mean, we did 12
Notice
years. out here, and I
it
never
was in
cursed.
conjunction with
With
the
a
wife
story
being brought
making
up.
him do
no, the
something.
wife
My
being
wife,
brought
yeah.
up.
Speaking of which,
Doing that anyways, that she got me to do those things that I wouldn't normally do and end up being great experiences, So like it is cool to have someone that'll push you a little bit, but much like Defo said, you do know your own limits and
and
you'll
I-
say no to what you really want to say.
If you
no.
don't like it, don't do it.
so all right, now a few years back, me and my daughter, we started going to Busch Gardens, and I've got something on Ron DeSantis. I started hating Disney much earlier before he did.
I've always hated Disney.
I hate going
Yeah,
to Disney World. I went there one time with my daughter. We had to do the obligatory thing.
Oh yeah, obviously.
And
The problem is
Once
all
you
the way
went once
back,
with your
like
daughter.
for 3 hours in your head, all you can hear is "It's a small world after all." Meanwhile, you're not speaking to the wife because things didn't go so well. By the second day, you're finished there. You're shot fighters, and the kid's in the back crying. So what good is it? That's how you end up for $6,000.
her first time at Disney, she went alone with her mom. This was kind of after our split, and they did the
Okay.
whole.
Well, how lucky were you?
I was great.
The
I was
timing is
ecstatic.
beautiful.
I was down here at Calder or something like that. It was still open, but they did the whole princess makeup thing and getting
Oh,
the photo
God.
shoot. They did the mommy-daughter thing
Yeah.
when my daughter was 6. Then one time when my daughter did gymnastics, competitive gymnastics, up at that wide
This
world
kid's
of
remarkable,
sports.
by the way. How did she end up turning out so good?
It's
It's amazing. Yeah,
pure
she does
luck.
everything. Straight A student,
Pure luck.
works, buys her own cars.
The
How did you do this,
vagaries
Mayo?
of the gambling gods, or
Yeah.
the vagaries
That
of
was
the golfing
that was a
gods.
great line that you wrote in that golf story. The vagaries of the golf gods, and they were
We're all
applicable.
over the place now.
What a
That's
great lead
relating
now.
to the British Open. Yes.
Did that end up on the cutting room floor there, so to
No,
speak?
I don't know.
Or
I
did the guy
can't-
say, "Hey, listen, Mayo, who's in the lead"?
I can't
I
remember
don't
what
hear
I
about
wrote
your vagaries.
yesterday.
Brett
Sometimes I
Turner, you
would
must have been a decent
I would
editor, no?
wax poetic. All right, getting back to
You
we
took
would
her
go
Disney,
to
yes.
we went to Disney one time when she was in a gymnastics competition, and all 3 of us went after the competition. We went and spent a day at Disney World, and I vowed never again.
Space
I
Mountain.
hated it.
What's
Oh,
wrong with
yeah,
that?
it's
I hated the lines.
When
I
was
hated
it
the
too? What time of the
costumes.
year was it?
I hate it. It's a small world.
Was
Oh,
it
no, that
summer?
song. I mean, it's addicting.
It's
Yeah,
a small
terrible.
world.
Was it summertime?
after all.
Luby and I
It
had
was
the
winter.
speed pass
Oh,
where
winter's not
you
so
could
bad.
get on every
It's crowded.
ride like immediately, and it still sucked.
Yeah, we had
Yeah, I
the
mean,
best
it was
hookup ever, and
1,000
it still was
degrees
horrendous.
outside. You still had to wait certain
Turkey
periods of time.
legs for like, I don't know, what was it back then? $20, $18 turkey legs.
They just put a
Oh, we got
dustbuster
food
to your
here.
pocket.
Thank you
Oh,
very much.
my,
We
look
got some
out, man.
apps dropping in there. We got the
Wings,
lemon
sliders.
pepper
Look at you guys.
chicken
cooked to
wings.
perfection.
I've got my sliders. I love my
Joe
sliders.
Beja does
here.
it again, man. You
Um,
guys want plates? You're just going to eat
no,
off the
we got-
table.
well, you know what? I'm going to put this over here. I'll
Oh,
be a
that's
human
me.
being.
Yeah, look at
That's
me.
yours. He's got
Thank
the
you, sir.
salad. He's going healthy. We're having lunch at 10 Palms, and you know what?
What's better?
I'm going to be back Sunday for our big extravaganza, the Sunday brunch
Can we
bash.
invite more people still?
The second quarterly one. Nope. The deadline
cutoff
was this morning.
Well, look at Lou.
We've got to be firm with our deadlines, and we are gonna. But it's a nice turnout. We're gonna have 4 previous contest winners, and
Right.
they'll come in
The
pairs.
lovely Bonnie coming.
Bonnie's coming.
How about Andy? Is he in?
Andy is not in, but
All right.
4 winners are coming, as is Lubie and his better half. Shirley's coming out.
Yes, sir.
I'm coming out with a guest, my new friend.
You're coming out. You have to be careful how you say that. now.
Well, no, I'm
you're
coming out.
bringing a woman. is
I'm
what
bringing
you're
a
saying.
woman.
Okay.
Coming
Yeah,
to the
I'm
event.
coming to the event.
Yeah.
And then, of course, I opened it up to everybody at that great discounted rate that Joe Beja offered,
Mhm.
$40 per person plus tax and tip, and you get a mimosa.
Yep.
And we got 13 people coming
Oh,
out
great.
that are going to be paying guests, although 2 of them are young kids, and they get in for free.
They count though.
They can't. Well, no, Joe says the policy here, because this is a kid-friendly venue, and
It is.
people should know that
Freebie food.
you can come out to 10 Palms any Sunday, and the usual rate for the buffet is $50. But for children, if it's between 6 and 12, they pay half price, and if it's under 5 and under, is free. So the toddlers are going to be,
That's nice.
having a free time, and I'm looking forward to it. We're going to be here like approximately from noon on, and they have a full day of racing. But that's going to be after my roller coaster extravaganza. Getting back to Busch Gardens, we went there for the first time.
You're just
after
just arriving at Busch Gardens after 20
swore-
minutes.
He's all over
well,
the
you
place.
took me to detours to the
You
British
we have to
Open.
take you on a few detours.
We
Yeah,
went
come on.
to we went skydiving with Shirley.
Mhm.
We went to bungee. No, we never went bungee jumping. And but the bottom line is this: I love Busch Gardens. It's like much lower key
Yeah.
than
How much is
Disney.
it to get
It's a
in?
little bit more affordable.
Well, I
Oh,
went
it's
on,
a stick, you said, right?
I went online to book my tickets for the Saturday, and I got them in advance, and they were like $90 per person per ticket for a Saturday, and then they add on all the little extra.
Let me ask you this.
It turned out to be $220 for the, including all the fees and
if they had
add-ons.
simulcasting at Disney World, would you like it better?
No, I mean,
Wouldn't you be able to tolerate it?
I
The
got
kids could go off and do what they're doing, and you could sit there and bet the races all day. Oh, you have simulcasting in your pocket now.
simulcasting
Oh, I also have
worldwide,
it. Yeah,
Oh, you
anywhere
could go
I am.
anywhere.
And he'll be
On
in
my
Tampa. It's
phone,
not like
on
he's
my
overseas.
app. So I do have tomorrow's racing form. If I get a little fatigued and standing in line, I could be handicapping some races because sometimes the lines are a little bit longer. This is a question for you guys: when you go to an amusement park, Disney, Universal, Busch Gardens, do you spring for the extra $50 per person for the express pass or whatever they call it these days?
I have never yet. I would.
No.
I mean, the last experience I went.
We always hope to comp freebie tickets.
Yeah. I went a year ago with the family, and that's to your point. We went with my then 6-year-old nephew and 4-year-old nephew. So we're like, oh, they're old enough. They'll enjoy it. Literally 2 weeks ago, this was last year. 2 weeks ago, I was with them, and I'm like, remember we were in Disney last year? They're like, no. So Shirley and I literally went so that we could enjoy this great moment with them, and they already forgot the freaking moment.
Yeah.
It was hot as heck, even in February, and it was packed, and it was sort of a disaster. The kids aren't used to walking around that much.
No, they're like
And you can't do
zombies
the stroller
after
that
2
much,
hours.
like-
They're like the walking the death march baton. It's
You
forget
start
about it.
crying by 11 o'clock in the morning.
100%.
You're lined up at the gate.
There's
You
a
race to get in there.
certain age where your kids should
It's
be
for
like
kids, but it's not.
when they fully grow up to like 11 or 12
Yes.
and they're at the right height and
Yep.
they could actually
My
have
grandkids
energy.
love it, though. They absolutely love it.
That's interesting.
And my son and his wife will take them for like a week at a time, and then it's become fashionable for these hotels, not necessarily the ones inside Disney World,
like a resort
but
kind
like
of a thing.
slightly outskirts, to have their own kind of amusement, entertainment going on the entire time that you're at the hotel. They almost have a better experience there.
You have like a pool.
Then they
Oh
do,
yeah,
yeah.
and they just splash around and they
Yep,
can just
yep,
go
yep.
right up to the room and play on their gadgets for a little bit. It makes for a little bit better experience for
Libby
the
and I
younger ones.
have had first class accommodations there, and it still was a pain in
Well,
the
it
rear
was a
end,
pain
yeah.
in the tokus.
Yeah.
The other part I like about Busch Gardens was, the days of where they had the free-flowing beer taps at the very,
I like.
that was back in the
Yeah.
1970s. People told me about that. That sounded like quite the scene.
I went to the one in L.A. with a girlfriend of mine, and we got absolutely blitzed, not even realizing it. I'm not a huge beer drinker, and I definitely wasn't then, but I mean, absolutely smashed. And I'm thinking, very dangerous. I mean, how the hell did I get
Yeah,
home?
it's
And
not
how
the
could they let
safest thing.
people leave the park in that condition?
It's not the
It
safest
was,
thing.
I mean, at what
this was
point did
before
they just
Uber
say,
and
hey,
Lyft.
Yeah, no,
It
that
was like
I mean, you were
had-
driving home.
You were at the mercy of the taxi driver who might be as smashed as you are, and you had that
Honestly.
That
experience
happened to me
before.
on a New Year's Eve.
Yeah, especially if the cabbie is at the Busch Gardens
Well,
too.
especially if he's snorting OxyContin as he's driving you down to Hollywood. I mean, from Pompano Beach.
So the days of the free-flowing beer taps are over at Busch Gardens, but what they do have is some pretty good food. Now, I haven't
Oh,
been
yeah?
there in like 5 or 6 years, but when I
Does
used
it
to
go
go,
internationally?
when I used to go with Natalia, besides having some very good roller coasters, including this thing called Shikra, have
Yeah.
you been there recently? Where
I
that's
went
the
a few
one-
years ago.
it has like that 90-degree drop, but right before you go drop, they kind of like they do this little tease,
Yeah,
like
they
a
stop
balk where it stops it while you're like when you think you're going down. It's not like the typical one where it just smoothly goes up and then
Yeah.
goes down. It's like right when you're there, it's
Yeah,
like
they screw with
it
you.
gives you a little like voots, and
Yeah.
it's a crazy ride. I like Shikra, but they also have a restaurant that's like in the far corner, but it's a all-you-can-eat fried chicken buffet, and it is some of
Really?
the
Wow.
finest fried chicken that
Yeah.
I've had
What's that run?
this side. Much better than Publix, even better than Michelle Bernstein's fried chicken, or on
How
on
about
par
Fran's
with it.
in
Friends,
Lighthouse
it's
Point?
no Friends chicken.
Fran's
Hey,
in
it's Boca.
Yeah,
Boca.
yeah, Boca.
It's better than that.
Yeah.
It's and they have all these sides. And when we went, it was like for lunchtime, it was like $27 a person.
Are
or
you a
That's all
whatever.
you
Friends
can
fan,
eat.
by the way? I mean,
What's-
I've never heard you speak openly, or in high praise of France. Are you not a France fan?
I did no.
Oh, you do like it, okay.
I like it. Yeah, I have no problem with it. It's a no
People
frills
rave about
place.
it, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't go like out of my way, but if I'm in Boca, in the Boca area, I'll certainly stop in there for a little
All right.
basket of fried chicken. It's
Very
definitely
good. All right.
good stuff.
This was, point of interest.
So
Whether
there
or
you
not
go.
you're a France fan.
I'm just excited to get away for a night. I haven't been away at all. I can't even remember. I think I went to a friend's wedding. Was it last year?
Well, because
for
you've been gambling like a sick degenerate. I mean, every day and every night, which is understandable. Look, that's part of the fun of being at Gulfstream Park. I can almost smell it. 29 minutes to post time for the first
There you
race
go.
at
I have
Gulfstream.
not looked at today's cards at all. I have my racing forms for today and tomorrow because as I am standing in line, or when my daughter does some driving today, maybe I will be dabbling in the parimutuel arts of looking at some races here, along with Saratoga, where it's wet today. But you know what we got to talk about? It's contest time. I mean, we're going to have our, I guess it's quarterly now. We did one at the end of April.
Yep,
Now it's the end of July.
Yep.
The Sunday Brunch Bash that, again, thanks to all of you who signed up. Thanks to all the contest winners who are coming out in kind of a group this weekend. So that's why we figured it would be a good time to do it. And, but every week we give away a pair of Sunday brunch vouchers here at 10
That is a great
Pounds.
deal. That's
Well,
one of the
that's a
best
great
contests.
deal.
I mean,
Yep.
Lubie gives away his landlubber's gift certificate for his trivia contest.
Oh, that's good. You get
fine.
Very
Yeah,
nice.
it's about good value.
But this is like a stick's worth of value here.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's no small cheese for these kind of shows. That's for sure.
Well, if you like to track, even if you
Yeah.
don't, you can be here all day.
I mean,
It's
if
a
we
good
had
way
a
to knock out
$10
day.
gas coupon, people would be happy to win it. Think about that. You're
When-
winning $100 worth of. I mean, and it's underpriced. You could easily charge at a racetrack, especially. What, 75
I
for
would say
that? And
70
people would
something.
say, no problem. I
No,
like it.
not to make comparisons, but at the Hard Rock now, their Sunday brunch is $125 per person. Here, it's $50 per person and $40 at the discounted rate for our viewers this weekend. And for the contest winners, it's the big zero.
Yep.
Because if you win, not only do you get your all-day buffet with that omelet station and the carvery and the seafood,
Yeah.
you also get one mimosa included, and it includes tax and tip. Now, if you hang around and have a couple extra drinks, that's going to be on you
Yeah,
if
it's
you
on you.
win, and
That's fine.
of course, tip a little bit on whatever you order extra.
Yep.
But our guests have been really good. Our winners, I've heard nothing but good feedback from them about
No
the
tips?
experience.
And the
And I've
rest.
heard nothing but good feedback from Joe about the people who've been coming out.
Great.
And that's the whole point.
That's great.
Exposing some people who might be food lovers and not very familiar with the
The
whole
track, yep.
racetrack scene to this new thing, because it's a great option. Like we get all the time on the Let's Eat group.
Keep
Over
telling Dave Joseph that.
113,000 now in the group.
113.
That's
Wow.
crazy.
And
You were
again,
like
when I
111 last
when
week.
I put
I'm
up,
shocked. I mean, I remember when it was 6, Mike Mayo.
I remember
it was
when it
30.
was just
When we
a
started with
yay
him, it was at
little
30.
thing.
You remember when it was like, if this doesn't work, you're out of here.
Well,
oh, you
and
were
then
already out.
I also remember
Yeah.
you guys mocking me for this contest idea, saying it's
I
too
thought it was the
complicated.
dumbest thing I ever heard in my life. It
Nobody's
really was,
going to
yeah.
get it. How is
Never
going
got
to
it.
play? Meanwhile, here we are,
That's great.
31 weeks in. We've had every week more than 50, 70, 80
Yeah, it's amazing.
It's
entries.
been amazing.
Last week we had I think it was somewhere in the neighborhood of 50 entries, and 11 people with chalk eating pigs and picked the favorite who
See, now
won the
you're
race.
insulting
The
the listener.
degenerate in
No,
you.
it's a term of
Don't get
endearment.
carried away. I know you're happy.
I mean, if
today.
you're in a contest, of course you're going to pick the favorite. It makes the most sense. But
Yes.
then you're going to be winding up in the hat for the tiebreaker, which 11 people did last week. And I was so happy that one of our regulars,
yeah.
Eric Newberg, who's actually come out
Really
to see
good
us
guy,
do
yeah.
a show,
He's great.
he ended up winning. He can't make it this Sunday, which is a disappointment, but he's going to pick another one. And this brings us to this week's contest, right, Defo?
Yes.
Do you want to explain how it works?
Well, I'll try. I mean, Mike's going to give 3 clues that pertain to a restaurant that either is still in existence and very popular here in town, or
was.
previously enjoyed like a great level of stature.
This week's is still existing. Actually, 6
Still
of them.
exists, which
Oh,
is
good for
good.
you.
Yep.
That's nice.
Rarity on the contest, and then because we like to put people out of business.
He's
No.
the king of
Well, we
the
both do it. We
the-
all do it.
Hey, I mean, I've been
Bygone
here a long time. I
restaurants.
mean, there's some great places over
Yeah,
the
we
history
all
of Miami and South Florida, Fort Lauderdale, and all the way up now to Palm Beaches.
We like to do a blend of past, present,
All right,
and
so-
future. Yes.
So you get the name of the restaurant, usually fairly simple by the time he gives the 3rd clue. If you're blanking on that, then, go ask somebody. And then you have to pick the winner of the feature race tomorrow
which
at Gulfstream.
is the 9th race this week is the feature race. It's the $75,000 Azalea Stakes. Azalea Stakes for 3-year-old fillies. It's going to be 7 furlongs on the main track and a compact field of 8. So what you're going to do is pick a number between 1 and 8 to correspond with the winner of tomorrow's 9th race. The feature.
12.5% chance of winning no matter what.
And you're going to do that and send the answer to the restaurant clues. And you send both of those components to me at mikemayoeats@gmail.com by what time tomorrow, Defo?
Noon, otherwise it's over. Now, are
Deadline.
you going to be able to manage this while you're on the road?
Yeah, how are you going to pull that off?
Yeah.
Well, it's very easy. I have my
You
inbox that
timestamp?
works.
No, you're good at
I have a
this.
timestamp. I put everything into a separate folder and everything that arrives before
You're
noon.
organized to a fault.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
a pretty, I'm an Eagle Scout. I
You're
know what
very
I'm
weird
doing
in
here.
that regard. No
I
doubt.
am a weird
Yeah,
dude.
yeah.
So numbers 1 through 8, along with the answer, mikemayoeats@gmail.com by noon tomorrow. You ready for the first clue?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm curious. I mean, is there any kind of general,
Well,
thing
here's
that
the
you can
theme.
tell us about
Because
this?
every week I like to have a theme,
Yes,
right? That
yes.
coincides with the world at large. So for this week's restaurant, we celebrate the arrival of Lionel Messi to
Oh,
South
okay.
Florida
That's
and
appropriate.
Inter Miami FC in Fort Lauderdale with an Argentinian restaurant.
Okay.
All right. And,
And it
this
still
one
exists.
you guys should get. I don't know if Defo was there, but
Lubie
Lubie
was
there.
not there.
Okay. So here we go.
I
Clue
already
number
forgot the
one.
name, though, so it's good. Oh, I
Here we
remember it.
go. This regional chain featuring Argentine cuisine has 6 South Florida
Oh, I
locations,
know it's 6.
but it was the Los Olas Boulevard site in Fort Lauderdale that got the biggest buzz when Messi and the Argentine national soccer team actually dined there last September while in South Florida to play a pre-World Cup friendly match. So Messi and the whole team was at this restaurant on Las Olas last September, and
that was the original one.
The lunch. No, we're
No?
going to get to that, Defo.
All right.
The Lunchbox actually did a show at this
We
restaurant in December with Nicky Mohan
We
and the Visit Lauderdale crew,
So Lubie's got
where
it.
we chatted
I do
and
remember.
ate with the GM, who
Okay.
showed off the selfie that he took with Messi when Messi was visiting.
Yep.
And the GM, by the way, is also named Leo, which is Messi's nickname.
All
Leo.
right.
So
Well, it's
there's the
same.
weird combo. So let's go to clue number 2.
You're going right to clue number
Yeah,
2.
Yeah, it's
yeah,
12:30
yeah.
already.
We're
We got
Yeah,
it.
just, just lay them all out there while you're at it. I mean, what the hell?
I like to
People
leave.
want time
I
to
like
think
to
about
leave.
Joe
it.
likes to
I
get one
like
of
to
the
leave
clues.
the last clue because that's
Oh, you got to
usually
give it
the
to Joe Baker.
that's
yeah.
usually the gimme, the layup. It has the very the clue
Automatic,
that makes it obvious, and I save that for the end with Joe. So clue number 2. This answers your question, Defo. The restaurant opened its first location in downtown Miami. I think it was Brickell in 1999.
All right.
So we're going back a ways, 24 years. And the chain offers a full range of Argentine classics, including sweetbreads, blood sausage, milanesas, and parrillada platters, which is the grilled mixed meat platters. It's a
So this
really
isn't one of those all-you-can-eat steak joints?
no, that's Brazil.
Yeah.
This I got to teach this guy. Have you been to South America?
No.
Yeah, once Colombia.
He actually has it.
Oh,
He
yeah,
actually
okay.
has.
Was it a shipment? Did it involve like some?
You know what? It could have just as easily. I was calling a boxing match there that turned out to be. If you ever see the video of what happened, it's remarkable that I survived because I was ringside and a riot broke out.
It's
in Colombia, and their guy won. And I'm thinking, what if he had lost? He won on a bogus decision by the referee, and there was a great trivia question.
You know what happens if you kick an own goal in Colombia? You're
you
not long
know
for
the
this
actress
world.
Gina Rodriguez?
I'll say I do, but
she's
I don't.
an Oscar winner, and it turns
I
out
showed
she
your
was
face
the
and this
daughter
is-
of the referee who made this bogus call to call off the fight in favor of the Colombian. Yeah.
Okay. So you narrowly survived your brush with.
I got hit with
Colombia.
a couple of bottles. I mean, it was at the place called the Salon de Jumbo. And hold on, I got to ask her one request.
Oh,
here.
he's in
Hold
the
on.
middle of the
more
story.
Chardonnay.
Okay, and he's
He's gonna
getting
want more
more.
Chardonnay.
Okay, he's shaming. Well, that reminds me of the time I was at the Tyson fight where he
Yeah.
bit off Holyfield's ear.
Yeah, you
and I
called.
had a
You
duck.
were there. Yeah,
I was
had a duck under
ringside.
the ring apron. Yeah.
I had a duck under my table that we had all our computers set up for deadline writing. Because again, that was when they called off the fight and Tyson got DQ'd. All these people lost money on Tyson, and they started pelting the ring with bottles and everything. And I just was cowering underneath, trying not to get hit. And eventually, we were able to get out
The
of it.
very
But
dignified Jimmy Lennon Sr., not Jr., but his father, who was, very, very dignified
These are
ring
serious.
announcer, one of the greats of all time, wrestling or boxing. And
They're
he
great.
used to sit with me sometimes by ringside when I was covering fights at the Olympic.
They're massive.
And he said, as soon as you hear me say the word, ladies and gentlemen, we have a split. The minute you hear the word split, duck under the ring apron. Because something's going to come down to the ring. But
There's
in this
napkins
place,
here
in
and-
Colombia, oddly enough, at sporting events, I guess this is common, and maybe it's why soccer matches are so dangerous down there. If you order more than one drink, okay, let's say you're getting 2 scotches and sodas or whatever, from a vendor in the stands, they give you the bottle, the actual
The
bottle.
glass.
The
That's
glass
right.
bottle. I mean, and these things were being fired with the anger and just
they might want to convert to the airplane plastic
Exactly.
containers. That would be good.
it's Colombia. Who are you going to talk to? I mean, where do you go? I mean,
Calamari's
where
good.
do you
They
go
got-
to lodge a complaint?
They got the little fried jalapeno peppers too. Man, we've taken a seafood tour this week. We had yesterday
Yeah.
the conch from
I
Turks and
haven't seen.
Caicos.
Lubie dived
We-
in on one of those wings. or
We
dove in on
have
one
the
of those
wings are great.
calamari.
Yeah.
We
Try
had
one, the wings are
fish yesterday. Did we have any kind of seafood at
Frank,
Calabria?
we
Not
did not
really
have
this
fish,
week,
no.
but
No.
man, there's some good stuff. All right, so
What's
My
the second
point,
clue?
I was trying
You
to
had a
be
point. Okay,
no,
good.
You finished the second clue?
Yeah.
yeah, I finished the second clue, and then he was like saying, "Oh, is that the all you can eat?" And I was
So,
then I was
No,
going to, in
Argentinian
my
Brazilian.
That's Brazilian.
condescending,
Yeah, you're right.
my condescending foodie manner, I was
Yeah.
going to say Brazil has those rodizos where it's they
That's
come
it, yeah.
around and slice up all the meats. Argentina is more of a blend of classic, like the South American meats and grilled meats, but served on a platter along with a lot of Italian touches. Because, as you know, Defo,
Yeah.
a lot of the population of of Argentina came
Oh
from
no,
Italy.
great Italian.
So that's
influences,
why,
yeah.
like our friends over at the late great Las Brisas, they would have pastas and they would have
Carlos and Tito.
Carlos and Tito. So the Argentine cuisine has lots of pastas, and they do at this restaurant. They have milanesas, which is like basically, veal milanese, chicken milanese. It's a fried coating, a batter, but very delicious and
That's
pounded
great.
thin.
Yep.
And
You're
again,
saying there are 6 of these now?
yeah, so there's 6 of these. I
Wow.
could go over them. There's Biscayne, there's Sunny Isles, there's Weston, there's Las Olas,
Must be good.
and then
Yeah.
there's 2 others in Miami. I forget right now because I didn't write them all down. But there's 6 of these, and again, regional chain, 6 locations. Las Olas Boulevard location had the big buzz last year when Messi and the
great. The place
Argentine
great.
team came in, and they were there in September. Then, of course, they went on to win the World Cup, which was played where again, Lubie?
It was
In the middle of the
Qatar.
desert,
Qatar.
No, that hasn't happened.
Qatar.
Oh yeah, Qatar.
It was Cutter.
And then we went in with the lunchbox with Nicky Mohan, a Visit
great.
Lauderdale crew, to that same restaurant. We talked to the general manager named Leo, and he showed off all his photos of him with Messi.
It was
his
like a
childhood.
precursor. It was almost a precursor.
Yeah,
So
it
that's
was.
the second clue.
What happened?
The second clue was the restaurant opened its first location in Brickell in Miami in 1999,
Right.
and the chain offers a full range of Argentine classics, including sweetbreads. Have you ever had sweetbreads?
You know what?
You know what
served
sweetbreads
them.
are?
Yeah, they're like brains, cow brains.
It's pancreas. It's actually
Yeah.
pancreas. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, pancreas.
It's sheep, isn't it? Sheep.
It was a big thing with the Mexican
goat.
food crowd, the real authentic Mexican
Actually, you
food
know
that
what?
you get in
I
California.
might be wrong. It might not be pancreas. It might
I think
be
it's brains.
No, it's not brains. Thalamus. I think it's the
see.
organ from the brain. I'm going to look that up during the break. Blood sausage. Have you ever had blood sausage?
I've avoided that.
Okay. But you've had some veal and chicken milanesas, like a cutlet.
yeah,
It's
for
like
sure.
a cutlet without the cheese and the sauce.
Thymus gland in the throat and the pancreas near the stomach. In calves,
I was right.
lambs,
Pancreas
and,
and the thalamus and all that stuff. So it's
Good
like
show.
organs. It's kind of that
It's
offal.
like the last thing I would ever want to order at a restaurant.
They call it offal, OFFAL, and a lot of people think it's awful.
awful, yeah.
So
yeah. Sweetbreads was a big thing when I was serving in restaurants. In LA.
those are the first
Yeah.
2 clues. Man, what a meandering trip we took.
No,
It's
that
going to
was-
be
that was,
that felt
you know,
longer than the trip
I
to
hope your
Tampa.
daughter
I'm gonna
has
take.
like earphones in the car that you can listen to her own music while you're
Well-
battling,
You're wrangling.
4 hours all the way
Hello,
to Tampa.
Pod. It's me,
Oh,
Kettle.
yeah,
You
Defo's
know,
the king of it, but
Yeah.
it is what it is.
do you got a winner in the first race here at Gulfstream?
No, I have no idea. I didn't look at that yet.
All right.
but,
Well, let's do some speed handicapping during the break, and let's first go into the break by talking
salad's
about.
delicious, by the way. I mean, absolutely sensational.
The calamari
Joe
is really well
Beja's done
done.
it again. Yeah.
We're going to talk to Joe B after the break. First,
How's,
I'm going to.
how's the slider? You didn't do much on that.
No, I'm because
You were
He's
yapping.
being
I mean,
weird.
you were yapping.
He has to go
It's killing me.
drive, so he
Really
won't
I'm
eat.
going to act. I'm going to eat.
Do you
Any
stop at any
there,
rest
I guess,
areas?
or-
I mean, do you go to a turnpike rest stop?
My daughter,
And if
we were
you
going to do one
and
stop.
If you do, what
Really?
food?
You're gonna
What
stop?
food do you get?
We make one
You
stop.
don't want to go off the road. Oh, you're on
What-
75
We're
going
going
up there.
75.
Yeah.
It's not the turnpike rest stop. We're probably going to stop somewhere along, in between the Fort Myers
What's your
area.
go-to joint?
It'll be Wawa.
Right off the
Wawa
road.
is the best place to
Oh, yeah?
go.
Okay.
That is the one enduring and positive legacy of Governor Rick Scott. He brought like 100 million Wawas to Florida, the whole
Yeah.
state of Florida. That was
you know what's funny
his
about that?
big economic achievement was
People,
Wawa.
are big fans of their sandwiches there. And I
They're
remember
fine.
Gail, the lovely Gail from Las Palmas, was actually concerned when the Wawas first made their influx into South Florida that, this was going to hurt their business a little bit because it was another competitor in the hoagie, type of business. And I don't think it made any dent, although
Nah,
people
they're
do like their sandwiches.
This-
but there's no
The
comparison.
subs are fine, but
Yeah.
it's not. Las Vegas.
Here's
They're just
what
different.
happened.
I mean,
okay?
as a sub goes,
Wawa came, and Las Spadas survived. VNS survived. Our friends at Talia's Tuscan Kitchen survived. You know why?
because
Because
they're good.
No, because the population of the state has tripled since the time I've been here. So there's more people, more mouths to feed, more restaurants needed. And I tell you what, this weekend, if you want to feed your own mouth and stomach with something that's reasonable and delicious, you're going to want to go to our friends at Tropical Acres.
Yep.
When are we going back, Mike Mayo? Oh, next week.
We're
Next
going
week.
on
We're there next
Tuesday.
week.
I'm very
Oh,
excited.
great,
We're going to
great.
be finally having a remote show from the fabled place
Will
itself.
Jack be around?
Not only will Jack be around, Jack Studiali, he's going to be on the show,
Great.
and along with his sons, Joe and Jackson, who he calls a son. It's kind of like a adopted son in a way. We'll get the whole story on that. We're also
I
going to
like
be
this
eating
new
some
type
good
of
stuff.
show though, where the restaurant isn't actually open, but we're there.
No, and then just all they can do is feed us
Man, it's
everything.
great. There's like
in the
7
house.
dishes come out. We're
Yeah.
like, holy moly!
Now here's the coincidence. We're going to be there with Jack on Tuesday doing a live remote show. It's at 2500 Griffin Road, and you can go in there tonight. It opens at 4:30 in the bar with the happy hour, and then you get the early bird special in the dining room at 4:30. The happy hour you can't be beat because you got the half price drinks and the light bites that are reasonably priced. All of that is great. You know, on the way in today, I ran into a guy who knows you. He says he sees you at sometimes at
Well,
that
how
other
much
bar.
did he ask you for?
But he was asking me about, do you remember? He said, because I gave him a line about, there's always another day because they're off the turf for most of the races at Saratoga. And he said, oh, Bob Savage, he used to have a show. And he always used to say, do you remember his closing line? It was something about.
Oh, yeah. I'm heading out. I'm heading home. Something like that.
No, it was something like something about. Well, he probably did say that.
Yeah.
But before that, he said
it wasn't
something
heading out
to
and
the
heading home, but
effect
it was like
of
saying so long and
there's
heading
something better right around the corner tomorrow. That's like
Bob
there's
Savage,
always
man.
another day, and even if you have a kind of a lick your wound day today, that there will be something better around the corner tomorrow.
One can only hope.
And when he mentioned Bob Savage, I was like, oh, that was Sam Studiali.
Were you here when
Tropical
Savage
Acres.
was the race caller at Calder?
I was not.
Oh, okay.
But I came here in the late '80s, and by then, I don't know if Sam
Bill
was
Saltzman, yeah.
still. I don't know if Sam Studiali was still running Tropical Acres, or if he had, I guess Jack had come aboard, but I don't even know the timetable of the show. But all I know is that Tropical Acres was friends of the racing community,
Yes.
and they are friends
Way back when.
to us. And
You know what? That's how I originally ended up going there. It was like, okay, if this guy's going to support horse racing with a sponsorship on this replay show that was on TV, which nobody had, I'm going there. And I thought, wow, this is a good place.
And you don't have to be a horse player or a gambler to enjoy Tropical Acres. You just have to.
Price.
And again, that's the thing, the value there. You get the half price during the happy hours. You get the half price bottle of wines on
Happy hour
Monday and
all the
Tuesday.
way through to Friday.
Monday through Friday.
Oh,
They
wow.
include
So
Friday
even
night.
the weekend night, you get a
It's
happy hour.
just
The happy hour is
they're
amazing.
closed on Sunday, so the only time you don't get a happy hour
Saturday.
is on Saturday. They have the Twin Lobster special for $39.
Even Friday,
Monday through Friday.
Oh, wow.
The only time you don't is on a Saturday. So that's why they're just trying to.
That's amazing.
They're trying to do right things at the Tropical Acres. They have great service and quality and selection. I love it.
Yeah, start your weekend right with some Tropical
filet mignon, the prime
I
rib.
think about that. Tradition is also a cool thing. I mean,
Yeah,
some
it's not a
people on
bad
Let's
thing.
Eat South Florida are like, oh my God, it's all old farts. I mean, there's something to be said for tradition.
I love old
And-
school
and,
stuff.
When
I
we were
like
there,
the
it
old
wasn't
school
all
treatment,
farts.
yeah.
There were
I
plenty
love
young people
respecting
there.
the
You're not
past.
waiting a half hour for
Yeah,
your entree to come because
same
the
thing when I'm
appetizers
going
came
to
zipped
Tampa.
right out like you were
Yep.
pre-ordered.
Yeah, same thing when I'm going to Tampa. Burns Steakhouse is one of those classic old school joints that
They seem to
I'm
do
not going
pretty
to get
well.
a chance to go in there. I've been there many times, but I do get the chance to go to Tropical Acres, and you should too. Again, 2500 Griffin Road. Man, it is time. You go there and tell them the Lunchbox sent you, and then Defo, let's take a break because it's almost time to go.
Yes, honestly.
We got to do
God,
our.
I mean,
we got to
take
do
a
some
breath there, my
business.
friend. You all right? I mean,
Am I
your
all
poor
right?
daughter. We're coming back with
exhausted.
more. Mike Mayo, who celebrates his roller coaster ride in a moment.
It's Mayo for Gilbert's 17th Street Grill. You know me. I love family-run places with quality food at fair prices, served with passion and pride. And that's why I love Gilbert's. For more than a decade, Lenore, Beth, and Richie Gilbert have been serving up the best burgers, wings, ribs, salads, and desserts. It's a fast casual spot. Everything prepared fresh to order from an immaculate open kitchen. They're at 1821 Cordova Road in Fort Lauderdale in the Cordova Shops just south of 17th Street. open every day but Sunday. One of my favorite burgers in South Florida. Big, round, juicy pucks of 100% Angus beef, char grilled to perfection. And don't miss the sweet potato fries on the side. They're legendary. Go to Gilbert's, feast, and be happy. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. When I'm looking for some wicked good food for a wicked good lunch, there's only one place to go. That's Wicked Cheesesteaks in Fort Lauderdale. It's at 4824 North Federal Highway, just south of Commercial Boulevard and across from Holy Cross Hospital. My friend Brian there, he will hook you up with some really tasty treats. They've got cheesesteaks just like the best you can find in Philly, along with lobster rolls, because that's where he's from, Maine originally. And they have wings and pizza and everything you want to have a really good time. Wicked Cheesesteaks, they're open every day but Tuesday. Go in there on a Wednesday. They got buy one, get one on cheesesteaks from 5 to 8 p.m. Check them out online, wickedcheesesteaks.com. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. If you're looking for a great place for steaks, seafood, and more, go to Tropical Acres Steakhouse and Butcher Shop. It's at 2500 Griffin Road in Dania, just west of I-95 and the airport. They've been there a long time, since 1949. That means they're doing something right. You'll get old school hospitality from the Studiali family, along with great value, tremendous service. Of course, you could also go into the bar for happy hour every day, 4 to 6. The early bird special runs from 4:30 to 5:30, and they have great value all night long. Also, a butcher shop that's open every day from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. except Sunday. The dining room is open every day at 4:30 except Sunday. Go to Tropical Acres. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. Beach Cafe. It's a South Florida landmark, and it's one happy restaurant right on the water. Tables literally on the beach. A place where you could dip your toes in the sand, kick back, relax with island vibes, tropical drinks, and live music daily. You know it. It's at One Commercial Boulevard in Lauderdale by the Sea. And of course, it has Chef Chris Nealon and his famed Caribbean Floridian cuisine. With a huge menu with something for everyone. Seafood, raw bar, conch fritters, burgers, sandwiches, salads, deli specials, and of course, that famous Bimini bread. They've got a great staff that'll take great care of you. There's something to celebrate every day, open 7 days until late, parking available on site, happy hour weekdays 4 to 7 p.m. Go check out more at arubabeachcafe.com. Better yet, go in there yourself at Aruba Beach Cafe. Good food, drinks, friends, and laughter are always the catch of the day. When people come to me and say, Mike, where should I go out to eat? I got guests coming from out of town. Where should we go? Cafe Seville. That's the answer. 2768 East Oakland Park Boulevard. It's a Fort Lauderdale perennial, serving the finest in Spanish and continental cuisine in a cozy, friendly, comfortable setting. Joey Esposito and Sally, his better half, they've been running the place for a long time. It's been open since the 1980s. They got great Spanish classics like paella, shrimp with garlic sauce, and all kinds of great seafood dishes. The stuffed veal chop, oh, that's my favorite. Go to Cafe Seville. It's open every day but Sunday at 5 p.m. for dinner. Tell them that the Lunchbox Mayo and Defo sent you. Do you like burgers? Do you like wings? Do you like late night food and sports on big screen TVs and cold beer and friendly vibe and great people? Then you want to check out Shenanigans, 1300 South Federal Highway in Dania Beach. Go to Shenanigans, you get yourself all the good stuff, the fresh fish every day, the blackened grilled wings, and of course, the kitchens are open late. Go there, tell them that the Lunchbox Mayo and Defo sent you. All right, we're back on the Lunchbox. We're at 10 Palms at Gulfstream Park. I promise we're going to be more focused. We're putting blinkers on for the rest of the show, right, Defo? And we're joined.
I mean, this is the man who is focused, and congratulations, Renato, of all.
He's so
kinds of
focused, they keep
varieties,
giving him bigger titles. It's great. I mean, first I kept calling him Director of Food and Bev. No, it was Director of Hospitality. And now, what is he, Defo?
Yeah, there's nothing that he doesn't do here. I mean, he's got to get down to the paddock for the first race and tell the guys to get the riders up. I mean,
No, he doesn't do
he's
that.
a man, a jack of all trades here.
Executive
Yes.
Director of Hospitality now at Gulfstream Park.
Thank
And
you, John.
he does
What was
a
that
great
title
job.
again? That's a good one.
Executive Director of Hospitality. Did I get that right?
Yes, you did.
I
sir.
did.
Right? You
Thank
walk
you.
in, he says, "Hey, Mike, how you doing?"
He's a master of hospitality. And
He is. Look at
that's
this stuff.
why we love coming here, and we love our association with Gulfstream. And our viewers are loving it too, because they get the contest, and not only that, they get to partake this Sunday. And thanks to everybody who did sign up, and are going to be enjoying a little bit of a discounted rate for our second Sunday brunch bash. I guess we're going to make it a quarterly thing if we possible.
Absolutely.
So thank you, Joe. And right after that, it's going to be the following weekend is another in your great lineup of the events that are taking place upstairs on the 3rd floor, right?
Correct. So it's the taste at the track series that we do here. Summertime, we always kick off with burgers and brews. So that'll be Saturday, July 29th at 12 noon for
I'm
VIP.
starting early. I got a little burger myself right
and
now.
then 1
Nice
o'clock
job.
for general admission. So we have plenty of tickets in both areas. VIP tickets are $75. GA is $50. And the event goes till 4 o'clock.
And you can still get the combo pack at the discount.
Correct. Yeah,
yep.
you can get if you buy all 3 in advance, which the next one's coming up will be tacos and tequila in August.
That's a
and
biggie.
then bourbon and barbecue will be coming up in
That's
September.
a biggie. They're all great. They're all
So-
crowd pleasers. I mean, who doesn't like
Correct.
burgers? Who doesn't like tacos? Who doesn't like barbecue? You pair it with the beer and the tequila and the bourbon, and we're all just
Well-run events too, Mike.
well
Well-run
run
events.
and very fun, and of course, full day of pari-mutuel and horse racing activity that goes along with it. So
Correct.
it's going to be a great time. And if you want to get those tickets, you go to gulfstreampark.com, correct? Yeah.
Correct.
And
It'll route you through, I think, to Ticketmaster
okay, great.
to get that done. And just if I may, the breweries that'll be here,
Mhm.
I mean, it's a who's who of South Florida and many other breweries. You
wow.
have Jay Wakefield,
Right.
Winwood, Funky Buddha, La Tropicale,
Mhm.
Three Sons.
Three
from up
Sons,
there,
right
one
up
of my
there. They're my
favorite.
local. They do a
Yep.
great job. Corey and his crew. That
Yep.
IPA, the Dopalicious, is delicious, and
that will be available that day.
that's great. So
Ocean
you
Park
got the
Pilsner.
it's remarkable the way that the whole local beer and brewery scene has sprouted. It's just in the last decade, the last 10 years, and it's become nationally renowned because they win medals and awards at some of these not just national, international competitions. So
Correct.
it's a good lineup. Thanks, well done.
Yeah, thank you.
And again, that $75 VIP, it gets you in an hour earlier, so a little bit less of the crowds and more chance to partake in all the good
The
goodies.
various burgers that will
Yes.
include elk, bison,
Ooh,
traditional
fancy.
burger.
Now you got Mayo's attention.
We have a
Have
black
you-
bean burger for the vegans. So
Let's go
We're
down the
covering all
list
the
because I've been
bases.
peppering Defo with questions all day about some exotic foods. Have you ever eaten an elk burger?
No elk, no bison.
No bison. Bison is very lean and it's very
Correct.
good,
Yeah.
and you can't
Yes.
really tell the difference except that it's a bit leaner, but it does still taste like a beefy burger.
I'm a little, I would consider it adventurous if I ate a burger with checkers. So I don't know about the elk and the bison.
Yeah, well, that is adventurous. I don't
Yeah.
even do that anymore. But those things are delicious and a little bit, I'm not going to say unusual, but I it's just you don't see it every day. So
No.
it's a good for people who
No,
are into
I've been to a
food.
couple of these, and they really are great. They're very, very well run. Joe B, first class all the way. Everything that happens here at 10 Palms is great, and all of the restaurants. I was thinking this morning, you know what? Those bowls that you have downstairs, you're still doing it?
Yes, we are.
Those are
Yeah.
phenomenal.
Those
we can
are
bring
good.
those up next Friday if you like.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I mean, those are unbelievable. And everything we've had has been amazing, and you can't believe this is happening at a racetrack. It's just, it's really a good thing.
No, they've really upped the food game
Yeah.
here, and it's been a while. I think we had the calamari way back when we first started this, and
We tweaked it a bit.
I love it now. I love the plating, and I love the little fried jalapenos because that gives you know me, D4.
Go
I
ahead
love
and
it
do
spicy.
it while
little
on the air,
heat.
which is really
While on the air, just
adventurous.
have a little.
You got to dip it in something.
Let's go.
What do you think?
Now wake you up.
You haven't shown the video of this show to any of the upper level, management here, have you? I mean, I know you're high up there now.
He
but,
just shows the numbers. That's all that
Stronach, is he
counts.
familiar with what Mayo is doing?
We try to keep some things on the down low.
It's one thing to get by Dave Joseph, but
No,
but
we
no,
love-
that's good. I don't know how you can do that. That was a hot pepper, and you just
Good.
swallowed
No,
that
no, no.
like it was
And
a piece
again,
of
the
gum.
pairing of the calamari with the hot peppers, I think it's one of those classic
Yeah.
things. And
Yes.
you see that in Rhode Island, is it? Is that a Rhode Island thing or kind of an everywhere thing?
It's kind of been everywhere. I think we're kind of taking one of these looks from like one of the classic steakhouses that
Mhm.
my chef has been at, which I believe may have been like Capitol Grill.
Yeah. Oh,
Nice,
great. No, it's
nice.
good. That works. That's a pairing that works. So well done. All right. You ready for the contest this week?
Sure.
So
Okay.
we are, again, celebrating the arrival of Lionel Messi, into town. So
Are you into that, Joe? Are you? You're a big sports fan. I mean, you're into soccer.
It's the
at all?
one sport I struggle to
I'm with you.
watch.
Yeah.
just being American. I always, whenever the World Cup comes around every 4 years, I post
Watch
that
a
meme.
little. Yeah.
I watch a little bit. I root for
Right,
USA,
right.
and I post a meme on my social media account that says, if I wanted to see a bunch of men struggle to score for 4 hours, I'd take my buddies to the bar.
There you go.
You know,
That's a
How
good
could they
one.
miss that net? It's the size of the backstretch here.
Well, we got the Women's World Cup going on right now, and a big upset the other night where New Zealand, one of the host squads, won its first ever Women's World Cup game. So congratulations to them.
Seamus
And we
Mayo
got the
over
U.S.
here.
Well, you know, I'm trying to
Seamus
make
McMahon.
Sarnie happy because I'm sure Sarnie's like
Stop with your
squawking.
Sonny. Don't worry about it.
You know, we want to be obviously inclusive, and it is a big
course.
event. I'm going to be watching some of those games
So
in
will
the
I.
next couple of weeks. But to welcome Messi, we basically have a clue of Argentinian restaurant, and the first clue was it's a regional chain featuring Argentine cuisine that has 6 South Florida locations, but it was the location on Los Olas Boulevard in Fort Lauderdale that got the big buzz last year because in September, when the Argentine national team and Messi was in town to play a pre-World Cup friendly, they went to this restaurant on Los Olas and had a fine meal. And actually, the Lunchbox show, we did a show at this restaurant in December after Argentina won the World Cup, and we spoke with the general manager, whose name is also Leo, and he showed off his selfie that he took with Messi when they came in and dined. That was pretty cool. So that's clue number 1. Clue number 2 was the restaurant opened its first location in Brickell in downtown Miami in 1999. The chain offers a full range of Argentine classics, including sweetbreads. Have you ever eaten sweetbreads?
yes,
Blood sausage. Ever eaten sausage?
yes,
Blood sausage.
yes.
Milanesas, which of course are like the pounded, breaded,
Yep.
the chicken and the sometimes they do steak, sometimes they do veal. It's like the cutlets, but without the Parmesan cheese and the sauce. And of course, they have the parrillada platters, the grilled meat platters, which are excellent. Do you have any clue what the name of the
I'm
restaurant?
stumped at the moment.
Stumped at the
I
moment.
am.
Well,
All
here
right,
comes
Give us the gimme.
here
Here comes
comes
the gimme.
Yeah.
Right.
Hopefully, it'll make it the gimme clue. It is the chain's name comes from a condensed, contracted version of the name of Argentina's capital city. All right,
Okay.
this is it. Defo has no freaking clue.
Oh,
All
I'm
right,
American.
The
My
chain's
geography's terrible.
name
What are we talking
comes from
about?
a condensed, contracted version of
Holy Gabriella
Argentina's
Sabatini,
capital.
man.
Do you know what the capital of
Brazilian.
Argentina is?
Oh my God, you're stumping. I was going to say Buenos Aires.
Well, that is correct.
That's what I was
So
gonna say, yeah.
when we say he said Buenos Aires,
nice
and I'm
job.
telling you that the name of this chain derived from a contracted version of Buenos Aires. Okay, that's your layup. That's
And
your
then you have to pick
There
the
you
winner
go.
of the feature race too.
feature race tomorrow. Is the
Are you
ninth
blanking on
race?
that? See, I would
It's-
have no idea what the
It's
restaurant
the
is.
Azalea Stakes,
Still,
75,000 Azalea, numbers 1 through 8. Let's go over some of them. Flakes is back in it. I think that's a winner of the last time out. Flakes is 2-1 on the morning line for a trainer is Alvarado, and the jockey is Edgar Zayas. I like Flakes because it reminds me of Frosted Flakes.
Frosted,
All
there
right.
you go.
So I'm going to
I
be
was
the
thinking the same thing.
I'm going to be the chalk eating pig this week. I will go with number 5, Flakes. Actually, no, you know what? Morning Life favorite, Charlie's Wish.
Charlie's Wish.
That could be for your
I'm thinking Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, but that's okay. You know, I'm tying it to food again.
Charlie's Wish for David Fawkes with Lionel
Yep.
Reyes at 8-5 that's your number 7, Defo. He loves number 7.
Well, I mean,
7.
if it works, you know. I mean,
And the 5 is Flakes. So you
there's
could
your-
play
there's your exact
your birthday exacta 7-5 till the cows come home, and looks like one of them will be your winner. But if you want to plunge on a long shot,
There are
just
6
go
others in the race.
look it up. So there you have it. That's going to be the contest this week, and I'm looking forward to riding some roller coasters tomorrow in Tampa and then making my way back, and I will be right here at 10 Palms Sunday at noon with the whole
Beautiful.
Lunchbox Brunch Bash.
Bringing your daughter
crew.
out?
My daughter is going to Rolling Loud, the music
Yep,
festival.
music
Oh,
festival this
Jesus.
weekend.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I will be with another lady that
This is
you will not
you know,
get to meet. So there
well,
you
I
go.
mean, it's not like you've sent a lot of pictures of her either.
I'm just, I'm very low key.
I wanted to meet this
That's it.
woman. 'Cause
Well, then
obviously she has to
You know
have
where we're going to be on Sunday.
a very
so.
strange.
They
all
call
about
it, they call it a
yeah.
private life for a reason, Defo.
I didn't know
That's
that
old
I had a previous engagement, Joe B, that I'm
Ah, yeah.
obligated to go to.
Yeah,
so,
Defo
Gonna miss you.
unfortunately can't
Yeah.
make it. And here comes the winner of the first. Looks like it's going to be
64 for breakfast.
6-4
Yeah,
for
yeah.
breakfast if anybody's playing out there. And wow, we got to take another
That's
break.
it, yeah.
Joe,
Yep.
thank you so much.
My pleasure.
Congratulations
Great
Thank you
again.
very
salad,
much.
the 10
Thank
And
pound
we will
salad.
see you on Sunday.
Unreal.
Look forward to it.
It's going to be great. Meanwhile, let's just go right to the break and we'll come back and wrap up this week so I could get on the road.
Here we go. Thank you, guys.
Joe B, man, you did it again.
Want great Italian food in a beautiful beachfront setting? Have I got the place for you? Casa Calabria at the Ocean Manor Resort, 4040 Galt Ocean Drive in Fort Lauderdale. Highly rated across all the restaurant review platforms and totally Mike Mayo's Lunchbox approved. Delicious, authentic Southern Italian food in a cozy dining room overlooking the Atlantic. Live music in the lounge, full bar, and a great wine list. Owner Frank Talrico takes great pride in his family recipes from his native Calabria. Fresh fish and seafood, veal, house-made pastas, and marinara sauces smooth as silk. You gotta try the imported meats and cheeses on the antipasta platters, and don't miss that ricotta gnocchi. Fluffy little pillows straight from heaven. Casa Calabria, open for dinner Tuesday through Sunday, closed on Mondays. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. This August, Visit Lauderdale invites everyone under the sun to indulge in the annual Dine Out Lauderdale promotion. This year's options will be more diverse than ever, with fine dining restaurants, casual eateries, and even your favorite cafes and ice cream parlors part of the mix. From August 1st through 31st, scores of restaurants will be offering multi-course meals at discounted prices starting at just $45 per person. Diners can also enjoy sweets and treats, brunches, happy hour specials, and exclusive culinary experiences. This year's lineup includes 3030 Ocean, Foxy Brown, and Lasso Gaucho in Fort Lauderdale, Even Keel Fish Shack and Aruba Beach Cafe in Lauderdale by the Sea, Cafe Max in Pompano, The Cook and the Cork in Coral Springs, Union Kitchen and Bar in Wilton Manors, and more. Restaurants are being added by the day. For the full Dine Out Lauderdale lineup and all the details, go to dineoutlauderdale.com.
Mayo here for Delaware Chicken Farm and Seafood Market. Since 1951, family owned for over 70 years, the home of freshness. I've been a customer for over 3 decades, and it's the place to go for poultry, steaks, meats, and of course, their unbelievable selection of fish and seafood. They've got it all. Key West pink shrimp, grouper, snapper, lobster, and of course, Florida stone crab claws of all sizes. Don't forget their famous fish dip and a full selection of prepared foods. It's located at 4191 North State Road 7 in Hollywood, just across from the Seminole Classic Casino. Owner Doug Carter and crew will take great care of you. Make sure to check out their weekly specials and daily catch online at DelawareChicken.com. Quality, value, freshness, that's the Delaware way. Tell them Mike Mayo and the Lunchbox sent you. Do you like pizza? Who doesn't like pizza? Well, my spot for pizza is the Pizza Spot. It's in that little bit hard to find Riverside Park neighborhood of Fort Lauderdale, but it's totally easy to love. It's at 601 Southwest 12th Avenue, New Haven style a pizza from Wade and Reese. It's a lovely outdoor spot. You could also pick up pies to go at 754-779-7788, 754-779-7788. Again, they're open every day but Monday for lunch and dinner. Some of the best pizza I've ever had. Go to Pizza Spot. They also have subs, salads, and more. Tell them the Gambling Gourmet sent you. If you like seafood in a comfortable setting, outdoors, Even Keel Fish Shack at the corner of A1A and Commercial Boulevard in Lauderdale by the Sea, that's my spot. It's upscale food in a down-home setting. The chef owners, Dave and Brad, do a terrific job with all the seafood classics that you want. They have the best grilled oysters in town, bang bang shrimp, lobster rolls, and deli fish specials. They also have weekend brunch Saturday and Sunday. They have deli happy hour 4 to 7, and they also have other weekly specials like mussels on Monday and oysters on Tuesday. Go to Even Keel Fish Shack and tell them that the Lunchbox sent you. We're back on the Lunchbox. Thanks again to Joe Beja. Defo's mad at me because I lifted a cucumber from his plate.
It's just a weird thing to
No.
do
Here's
as
my
a grown
analogy.
adult.
Here, I'm reaching over to the celery on the wings platter. The only thing I touched was the piece of celery that I'm going to be picking up and consuming.
But this is a group plate,
much in the
that's a
same
group
way.
plate, yeah.
and celery
You pick
is
up a
an
chicken wing,
individualized
you don't
thing.
need a fork, but
Much
if you're eating somebody else's salad, you don't want to put
Yes.
a big fat greasy paw in there.
And even if you do
That
just
who knows what you were doing with it.
with your hand the whole day,
I
exactly.
showered right before
Yeah,
coming here.
I saw you in the men's
You're
room. I know
touching
you're
car
talking about
doors,
that.
you're touching
And
things.
The only thing I
And when I
touched
walked in there was a very
on
foul
his plate.
scent. Yeah.
Now, look, should I have used a fork?
Yes, obviously.
Absolutely. do I sometimes lose control of myself
Yes.
because it's late in the day and my mind is
There's
wandering?
no excuse, I mean, class is class. Like Jack Studiali, he's not putting his hand
He's
in some
not
guy's
doing that.
salad plate just because he's too lazy to pick up a
One
fork.
place that
And
we
I
know
was-
that has a lot of class. We were there yesterday.
Oh, right.
Delaware Chicken Farm and Seafood Market.
Yeah.
But they'll treat the people with or without class as they accept Mayo for over 30 years.
I think I
But
used
they will always have the
utensils
highest of class.
yesterday.
Yes, you were great yesterday. It's actually
Even
weird.
with the
that was-
shrimp,
that
I
was
even
almost
used
silly,
my
yeah.
I even used the fork and knife with the shrimp yesterday,
did.
which shocked both of you.
Because it wasn't appropriate.
You didn't
Well, we
have
didn't
to.
need to.
I gotta again thank them, Doug Carter and crew, and of course Jose
What a
and
great place.
Gene, the
They do such a good
managers.
job.
They do a great job, and every month when we come
Wow.
in there, we're just floored by the platters that they set out. The grilling yesterday, those hunks of tuna steaks were
Ooh, man.
really impressive.
Yeah, it was really nice.
And then, of course,
I was looking at the stuff in the case there, the swordfish and the tuna steaks, and wow, I mean, you couldn't go wrong.
No, you can't go wrong at Delaware.
Fresh is a big. I mean, it's a big difference.
big
the
deal.
quality.
Yep,
I mean,
yep.
you can go to a lot of fish markets, whatever. They really do it right with the
and it's
seafood.
not just a fish market,
Yeah.
even though there's seafood is in the name
Yeah.
along with poultry. I mean, you walk in there, everywhere you turn, there's something good. You've got the display case filled with the steaks,
remarkable.
the
yeah.
beef, the pork. Then you see the poultry, and that's not just chicken. It's the turkey and duck and quarters and fryers and legs and wings. And then you go down to the seafood section, and you've got the shrimp and the steamed clams and fresh lobster tails and fish, whole fish, filleted fish. It's all there. And then the display case up front that has the dips, the great fish dip, the salmon dip, the grab and go things. Like I didn't even realize they have the chicken parmesans and things
Yep,
like
yep.
that.
Yeah.
They have fresh eggs in that case.
One of something you talked about this morning with us about the oyster. Sometimes people, the servers know her, but a lot of the time they don't have to go back. Service is a big part of, there's this whole with the strike with the writers, the AI.
Yep.
There's only so much things computers can do. What's great about having the human touch is the way that they can help you with things. And I love that they're people behind the glass.
Oh, they
know what
are.
they're doing, and they are great at directing people this way or that way, or helping them when it comes to the beef or with the sausages or with the poultry or with the seafood, which is really impressive, and I really enjoy that.
And not only pointing you in the right direction of what to get, but even how to prepare it at
Yes.
home. Or if you want, they'll prepare it right there and steam some fish or the crab cakes, so that you don't even have to cook at home. You could just eat it, grab and go. It's all that and more at Delaware Chicken Farm and Seafood Market, 4191 North State Road 7 in Hollywood, just across from the old Seminole Classic Casino. Big chicken on the roof. You can't miss it. They're open 7 days. Go to DelawareChicken.com for their weekly specials and daily offerings. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. And one final word
You're talking
before
about
I hit the
specials.
before I hit the road. Dine Out Lauderdale is coming up next week. We're going to be
And it starts in
focusing
like a
and
week and a half.
showcasing a couple of places that are going to be taking part in the Dine Out Lauderdale. One, our regular monthly visits, Even Keel Fish Shack. I hope Brad can be on hand. He's had a little bit of a conflict lately with his schedule, but they're going to be taking part in the Dine Out Lauderdale promotion. Some great dishes at great pricing. That's all part of Dine Out Lauderdale. Go to dineoutlauderdale.com. It's coming up August 1st through 31st. Scores of restaurants around the county, and not just the high-end places serving the elevated food. Also, like neighborhood joints, cafes, brunch places, and the other place we're going next week, Thursday, Defo, Jackson's Ice Cream
Oh,
Parlor.
yeah.
Nice.
They're working
What a
on their
week.
big Sunday that's going to be part of the Dine Out Lauderdale promotion. I think they've settled on a name, and they're calling it Everything Under the Sun for One, which is a miniature version of their kitchen sink. So usually the kitchen sink, which is like literally served in a sink, and it feeds 4 to 6 people with all these scoops. This way, it's going to be shrunk down for a single size serving. Call it Everything Under the Sun for One.
Nice.
And it has like 4 scoops of ice cream and all the toppings and rainbow sprinkles and a cherry and whipped cream and an American flag stuck in, because America's a great country and Jackson's a great place. DineOutLauderdale.com. Check it out. It's coming August 1st through 31st. Our friends at Visit Lauderdale. Going to be a great time for both the restaurants and the eaters and foodies out there. All right, that's going to do it. I'm out of here. I'm hitting the road.
All right.
Yep.
Mike Mayo, see you later. And we'll see you guys Sunday that are coming out for the
Yeah, we'll
party.
be here.
And we'll see you next
See you
time.
on Monday.
Mike Mayo's
Until
Lunchbox.
then, enjoy every sandwich.